Welcome to Chasm Converses. I am the man himself, and I am joined by Brisbane band STAHR, Grace, and Sam. Welcome.
Thanks for having us. Thank you.
Brilliant. So lovely to meet the both of you. Obviously, you guys are in a band together, a very good band, indie pop rock and rock. I can see. I had a lovely listen to your new EP, Blip, yesterday while I was having some breakfast, making some notes. Congratulations on the release. It's very, very good. Are you guys very happy with the response that it's having so far?
I think so. I think so. I think it's still in its like infancy of being in the world. Um, but glowing reports so far. So yeah,
Yeah,
happy.
definitely like the most like you put a bunch of singles out, well we have, and then with the body work coming out, I feel like it now is like really clear of what we're doing. I think
Mhm.
people now get it a bit more. So that's been nice.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's to convey a strong message in single territory.
Yeah.
Yes, no, for sure. And singles are
Or
obviously
higher.
such a good, yes, well, singles especially are very good ways to sort of, I guess, put out, seller tracks one by one leading up to an EP. So you guys did very well with that because you put out some singles as well before obviously
Mhm.
dropping the big release. I would love to talk to you guys about being musicians and your start off, like basically your starts as become musicians, how you guys formed, got together, all that sort of thing, your inspirations, wanting to be, singers, songwriters, all that kind of stuff. Let's start with you, Sam.
Uh, where do I begin? At the beginning, I guess.
Yeah, man.
Was always drawn to music. Was always drawn to guitars in particular if I was at, mates' places growing up as a kid, and a few of mine, um, had them laying around the house, and I had no idea what to do or how to play them, nothing, but I don't know, you just feel that like
Hmm.
gravitational force pulling you in a direction that when you're a kid you don't really clock it, but looking back at it, I'm like, oh yeah, it makes sense.
Hmm.
And then really good mate of mine properly got me into it because he was really into the Chili Peppers and was a really good guitarist at 16 years old, like
Hmm.
and just looping in his uh bedroom, like he would just practice 8 hours a day kind of thing, was homeschooled, and just that was his, education, I suppose.
Yeah.
To a degree. So yeah, that like showed me, that there was more to guitar and more to music than just playing like what was on records.
Yeah.
Like kind of just showed me you can like fly by the seat of your pants kind of thing, and like see what comes out, um and I would hear him doing these things and kind of be like, oh, what's that? Like, what song is that?
Hmm.
Because I just couldn't fathom that someone so young was making things that to my ear at that time was like goosebump worthy, I suppose. So
Yeah.
uh, I wanted to do that.
Brilliant.
And he just made it up.
Yeah. And he was just like, yeah, I just was making it up. So
Oh,
I wanted to do that. And then was really just a guitarist for like the first uh 3, 4 years.
hmm.
Um, and then couldn't find anyone who gave a damn as much as I did and wanted to sing.
Right.
So I was like, well, I've got a bit to say.
Of course, as we all do.
Yeah, so I just gave it a crack, and I suppose here we are, a few bands and projects and years later.
That's so brilliant. No, I love that. It's also great when you do meet people who are like just really good at things they do and they can really kind of inspire you to want to do them yourself and learn different things, especially in the way, as you said before, like sometimes if you want to do something badly enough and you're not getting enough of the attention or the intake of people who want to help you out with it, sometimes you just got to like, I guess, roll the dice and kind of just give it a shot yourself, which is great. The fact that you can be a guitarist and a singer is perfect. And that's one of the main things actually highlighted on the EP is that, every now and then there's a song that you sing, and then every now and then there's a song that Grace sings. So it's almost like you guys have like a back and forth of both, which is a really cool dynamic to have in like a band, I think.
Yeah, we definitely wanted to not just make the choice to be like, we are male, female, so we go verse and you sing the next verse and then we sing the chorus. We really wanted to try and steer away from that, I guess.
Just
Yeah,
like
definitely.
the obvious choices,
Yeah.
maybe. And that was like a real big like goal and heading with the whole EP, I think.
Hmm.
Was trying to find like that fulcrum that we could balance on, I suppose, and not be too heavy one way or the other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And when it comes to when you obviously had you obviously took turns in singing the different songs on your EP, was it one of those things where it was a song that you wrote that you sang, Grace, and then there was a song that you wrote that you sang, Sam, or did you sort of cross over at all?
Actually, not at all. We write everything together. So
Brilliant.
yeah, like Loving Friend in particular, I think is a good
There's one
one,
that's an exception.
an exception. But for the most part, our rule is we write together
Cool.
and then we both have the option to sing it. So yeah, even like Loving Friend, when we took it to the studio, we were just kind of like, who's going to take it? And it felt like your voice. It felt right at the time, and that
Hmm.
worked. But we try to make sure we're fully a part of the whole process from
Mm.
start, except for one song. But that's
That's
fine.
brilliant, honestly. Like, and that sort of sounds like such a nice dynamic to have, especially with the fact of like no kind of, I suppose, sort of egos or anything sort of getting in the way of wanting to do this one or wanting to do that one. It's what suits the song and what, like, as you said, what's voice sounds better for the track that you're doing, which yeah, that sounds brilliant.
Yeah.
And so, like, Grace, when it comes to like singing and that sort of thing, was that a big thing for you, like starting your music journey?
Yeah, I actually remembered a story that I don't think I've ever even told you before, but
Go for it.
basically from being like 4 or 5 years old, I was performing for my mum and dad, and then they put me into musicals and things like that when I was like 10, and I always loved it, but I went to boarding school as a young when I was grade 8 because I
Mhm.
wanted to, get lessons and I wanted to be in the sort of theater world more at the time when I was younger,
Okay.
and I went to drama and things
You,
like that.
she didn't grow up in a city.
I didn't go up in the
Is
Yeah.
city.
is why
Yeah,
boarding
yeah.
school needed to
It
happen.
needed no,
Yeah.
but there was a school near us, and it was like you could go there. But Mum's like, if you want to do all these lessons, I was very grateful and lucky enough to go to a school where I could do all of that.
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, my auntie and uncle, my uncle's brother
Mhm.
had like a band that he was in, and they would do rehearsals every like Sunday afternoon. So I remember when I was probably like 9,
Mhm.
everyone's like, let's go over and hang out. And I remember watching them and being like, that is so fucking sorry. That is so
Go
cool.
for it. It's
Like being
fine.
able to okay, Coco, being
We're all,
able
we're all Australians here. It's going to come out at some
to
point.
that's why I wanted to learn guitar because I was just so interested in these people just playing and singing at the same time. I thought it was insane. So, and then I left school, did drama, wanted to write plays and that kind of thing. I always sung, I always had guitar and did all of that stuff. I always wanted to tell stories. I just didn't really know what the avenue was yet.
Hmm.
And then it was like, I love singing, I love performing, I love writing stories and telling stories. So why not do it in a music sense? And it just came a lot easier to me. It felt more natural and it's way nicer.
That's brilliant. I love that, especially as like, creators and musicians, that sort of thing. Like, it gives you so many different pathways to be able to tell your stories, whether it's through your drama one or the plays, or obviously through music. And sometimes, musicians can have more than just one, I guess, creative pathway. And sometimes you don't know, like, which pathway you're going to take until it sort of starts to, I guess, like, come to fruition in a way. But it seems
Yeah.
like, again, you guys have such a really good sort of partnership that seems to be growing quite well. Or even, as I said, with the release of the EP and that sort of thing as well. Do you feel like there's been like a slight shift in your kind of the way that you've written songs and the way that you work together since you've sort of put this out?
I would say I feel like it shifted when we started to write this body of work.
Right. Okay.
That's how, but now I am also in a place of now that it's come out, there's a part of me that is so excited for the next one because I feel like I have a way more clear idea of how I would want us to work together on that one again. It's like, yeah, I don't know.
Um, well, we're not. I wouldn't say I'm in a. I wouldn't say I'm in a creative slump right now.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think it's just too early to tell, like where we're kind of at with that personally.
Of course.
Um, we're just kind of in like we've got some shows coming up and a
Yes.
little mini tour. So and then there's are you in a band? Been in bands?
Yeah,
Like, what's
yeah,
your
I've been in bands for years. I was in an indie pop rock band since I came out of high school back in Adelaide, South Australia. I was the bass player and like sort of co-managing. We were all we all had just really just brains that were everywhere all at once. So we were all trying to manage
yeah
each other and the band basically. And then yeah, I do like like heavy vocals in a heavy band in back home as well sometimes.
yeah
More so like a studio project now. But yeah, I've been like on the stages and all that kind of stuff, so
yeah
I know all about that kind of thing.
yeah man. Well, I mean that's to that point. It's like the body work comes out and then it's kind of like the real work begins kind of thing.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, true.
it's it was fun to put it together, but then you're trying to give it the life that it deserves, and that takes energy, and
Yeah, man.
therefore not writing as much right now,
Yeah,
or
no,
we're not.
definitely. No, absolutely,
Um,
man. I feel you. I mean,
but
like it's like a
looking
thing.
forward to it when it comes.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I mean, one of the best things that you guys have on your on the side, obviously, is the fact that you do have your East Coast tour like kind of coming up. So that gives you a nice avenue to get on stage and get out, play the music that you've obviously written out live to a bunch of different people, which is a great way, obviously, to promote it and keep, I guess, your creative spark alive. But I do know, yeah, when you sort of because I just released like an EP with my band the other week. Obviously, I'm overseas at the moment, so I did it
All right.
overseas. But it's a very similar thing where it's kind of like, you know, you've worked so hard for this thing and then you put it out and then you're kind of like, all right, I guess I have to try and like sort of promote this now. But again, with everything that comes in with promoting and stuff, it's just like you can only afford to do so much of it sometimes from different avenues. And it can sort of slump you a little bit, I feel as well. But again, one of the best things that you guys have is that you can play live in a few weeks and really like, yeah, show class that to a bunch of people in a bunch of different venues.
Yeah, no, that's right. We're
100%.
we're putting a lot of energy into that, and hopefully people dig it.
Yeah.
I will. I'm gonna have fun. So,
Yeah. 100%. I'd love to flow back to the EP very quickly. Just because there's some really nice things I noticed. I love the alliteration in the way that the track list is. The fact that you've got like, Mother or a Loving Friend, isn't it fun? And then like Be the Light and Yours Tonight at the end, those two like songs at the end, they roll off each other so well being in that order. Was that deliberate or was that just something that kind of came to mind?
no,
Very
very
deliberate.
deliberate.
Yes.
In different
I'm
orders.
very I'm not a shuffler,
Yeah.
so
He's also not someone that just does things and goes, "Oh, that'll work." There's a lot. There's a lot
yeah,
of
you just care. I care enough to want to make sure that it's done right. So I yeah, I listened. I'm glad that you bring it up because
no one said it yet.
no one's
There
really
you
said it yet.
go.
First person to sort of acknowledge it working. I feel is what you're saying.
Yes.
Be the Light kind of felt like an obvious closer,
Mm.
but
Yeah.
I think to the point of the band and like what our messaging is and what we're kind of about is like, yeah, Be the Light's a bit of a heavy one, and it's about my friend who you know um who showed me how you could play guitar in the first place. He
Hmm.
passed away, so that
Right.
song is about him.
Okay.
It's kind of an ode to the beginning of this thing that I'm now on,
Yeah.
uh and the journey we had together, and I just felt like it was way too heavy of a footnote.
Mm. Okay.
So
Sounds
I
like a
wanted
shuffle.
exactly, and we're about experiencing this life, and celebrating the human experience through our music, and everyone, celebrating the human experience and every atrocity and
Hmm.
amazing, thing that it has, going for it. But at the end of the day, we're not about sitting in it for too long. And so it was really important to me to go, and here's yours tonight, and here's a sweet riff, and here's a kind of 100-mile-an-hour song that's kind of about like not knowing what the frig is up and what's down.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you can move to it, and it's like, oh shit, we're not going to sit in it for too long. Let's snap back into it. Let's actually go forward with the day, kind of thing. But if you want to sit in it, you can listen to, you can go back and you can listen to whatever you want to do. It's, I'm not saying anyone should do anything that they don't want to do. That's just what I would like to put into the world, I suppose.
Yeah. No, you've worded that very, very well. And it's really good, especially because like I will definitely give you like, praise for the fact that, you are able to write the hard songs because there are some bands out there that will sort of stick to like, I guess, like their genre, but they'll stick to like kind of one sort of element or like a happy element or something like that. And they don't have the courage to go and write the difficult songs that they don't want to write. But then sometimes those are the songs that bring out like the deep emotion and the different feelings that sometimes that we all feel. So I really give you praise for being able to write that song. And yeah, placing it in a good spot. It's great that, you decided that, it was a bit too much to put it at the very, very end. So, end the song and the EP with a bit more of a chaotic sort of, upbeat track, which is fantastic. But no, it's great that you guys are a band that can write the difficult songs when they need to be written.
Thanks. That's nice.
I don't really have a choice. I think the more I like try and like fend it off, the more it screams at me. So
It's nice. I love that music though.
and
Yeah.
it's what
I'm into
we're
it.
about. So thanks, man.
No, oh, that's completely fine. And again, like it's one of those really cool thing about being creatives is that sometimes, the things they just come to you, Your lyrics come to
Yeah.
you or your riffs come to you, and it's up to you whether you write them or not. I was telling this to a musician on the podcast the other day. I don't know if you're similar to me, but sometimes, very annoyingly, my brain will wake me up at 3 in the morning with an idea, and it's sort of like, hey, you should use this tune that I'm going to give you right now, and you have to
Yeah.
almost try and wake yourself up, and either you're scrambling to like your notepad or you're scrambling to your phone to write a voice note of some description, at 3 in the morning, and then you listen to it the next morning, you're like, man, what was that? But then it can click back into your head, like, oh, right, that's what that was. I wonder if I can make something like that. Do you guys have sort of moments like that as well?
There's a lot of that on this EP,
Oh,
like
I love that. Brilliant.
like I can't think of anything specifically right now because it has been a little while, but yeah, it's like I'm trying to sleep and I'll just have I don't know, I like can just get a grasp on the energy of a song,
Mhm.
and there's this thing just that happens to me where it goes, uh-uh, like you're not done. And then it kind of spirals into an event. A lot of the answers, if I'm stuck on stuff, come literally as I'm laying in bed. Like,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
that's
which,
beautiful.
as I'm sure you're feeling the same way, can be annoying. But
Mm.
I
Definitely.
guess that's the nature of a quiet space and no one to bother you.
Yeah, no, 100%. It's one of those things that sometimes when you are sort of asleep, your mind either decides to run or it decides to be quiet. And in both circumstances, that's where you can sort of just come up with things, or things can obviously come to you. Do you have a similar thing as well, Grace? Like if you're writing lyrics or thinking of melodies or anything like that?
I'm a pretty in the moment person.
Oh.
But I do, as we're chatting about this, I'm like, I have vivid dreams and I remember them so well. Maybe I should be using this more.
Yes,
But
do.
I'm
Get the
pretty
journal
like,
out.
yeah, I don't know, I should, but I'm pretty here and now. I'm like, if I'm not awake, I'm thinking about a lot of things in bed, but it's not anything that's important, I feel. Like,
You you leave it you leave it all on the field.
leave it.
You just
Yeah.
I did write my dreams down. There's probably some stuff.
No,
yeah.
definitely. You can get some good ideas from doing that kind of stuff. Sometimes you'll look back and they'll make absolutely no sense, but sometimes obviously you have those ones that do stick out quite a lot. I've had maybe about, I don't know, two or three, I guess, songs that I've written that have come from just weird things that go on. And sometimes they make quite good tracks because you might think of a hook that actually works out really well. But yeah, it's one of those very strange things that happen sometimes. You just sort of have that and it sort of comes to you or it doesn't come to you. But it's all part of the creative process, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah.
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 Uh, Either way, I'd also love to ask you about because the EP is called Blip. And there's some really nice artwork on the front as well. What's the idea behind the name Blip, and where did you source your artwork from?
You start with the artwork and I'll.
So the artwork, we we've done a lot of shoots. I mean, sorry, with singles, we've always been in them.
Yeah.
And then we finally decided to sort of steer away from that. So we always were like, we don't want to be on the cover. So that was I think that was like a starting point in some ways.
Hmm.
We also really wanted, I feel like you have to understand Blip. I'll explain a bit of it and then I guess it'll make sense. But
Go for
like,
it.
like moment in time that passes. So we were like, what if it's a random object that's just like, don't know how that's going to come about. So then we thought of the material. We got some sort of ideas. Our photographer Jade was really helpful with that too.
Visual Poets Society.
Visual Poets Society was really helpful with it. We were originally going to do a photo shoot in front of this big rock wall, and it was a whole situation.
Yeah, we had a whole quarry.
Yeah, we had a quarry.
Oh,
So we were
like
originally
an operating quarry.
Yeah. So we're gonna go check it out, meet the guy. For some reason he said yes. And she said to me, could you go and look for some material and maybe we could just test it out? And then I think she said, actually, could you just get some sheets of paper because they were like $10. But I spent like $40 on this material because I was like, I really like it. I
leave
just
it all
want to
out
see.
there.
Yeah. I was like, do this. So I was like, well, I did spend more, but I got this really nice material. And she's like, oh, it's perfect. So then we practiced it in the quarry, took the picture of it, got a good picture. And then we went away and then it ended up being raining. So we decided we were like, the weather sucks, we're a bit under the time pressure. So we were like, can't really do the quarry now. So we decided we were going to do a studio shoot, but she has a friend, Ollie Sampson. He's a very, very talented photographer who kind of travels a lot and takes a lot of photos. So she said maybe it's an option that we get a picture from him that we pay for and we can use it and build the photo with the material that I already took.
Just super.
Yeah. And then it just worked really well. We even tried it without the material and just having the tree. But we thought, we're Dream Pop Desert Rock, and we're like, it's a bit too desert. We need some Dream Pop in there. So
Yeah.
we just had to stay. Yeah. We can talk about Blip, but yeah.
Brilliant.
I hope that makes sense, but
Yeah, no, it does.
okay, cool.
Awesome.
I'm like, which part? Yeah.
Yeah. It was a process. There was a lot of different sections and versions, but yeah.
Then we're going to do palm trees. That didn't
it was yeah, we probably took on a bit much. But Blip, essentially the concept behind the art as a whole was that, like that exact shape of that fabric exists in a blip of a moment, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was kind of like the visual concept behind the name, and then the name itself. I am a really big Arctic Monkeys fan, and I've always loved that you just don't know what you're going to get, with them. It's just every era is its own era, and somehow through the band's, ability to move with each other and still stay a united force, it just makes sense as an Arctic Monkeys record. And their latest record, The Car, it's just like, what the hell? You know what I mean? It's, as opposed to their, so I was like, there's a lot of power in the simplicity of the car.
Yeah,
You know, like
absolutely.
that makes you, that's a question mark in itself. It's like, what the hell are you gonna put on a record that's called the car, you know?
Yeah,
And then the reasoning kind of behind that was like there was so many moments. I don't know if this is completely confirmed, but it was definitely one of the talking points behind the name is like
yeah,
how great are so many moments that you have in your car.
hell
You
yeah.
know, it's like, and it made me think of being a kid and like pretending to be asleep, and so that your mum and dad would carry you inside. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's like riding in a car as a child, you know, going through the city that you don't know anything about at 5 years old at night time, and you're looking around. It's like so many great memories are formed in a car.
yeah,
And
100%.
and then through that, it felt like there was like a body of work that sort of came from that, you know, concept.
Mm.
That got me thinking, I suppose. And then Blip, just like a 3 a.m. thought. It
Yeah,
wasn't at 3 a.m., but it came in the same way. It
yeah,
was just like an arrow hitting me in the head. It was, you know, it was just like, that's the name.
yeah,
Um, and then from that, we kind of built the world. I didn't really know what Blip kind of meant yet.
hmm
Like, but then I started to, as we were writing, it became clear that it was these moments that we were experiencing, you know, that they feel all encompassing.
mm.
And, you know, we were going through it in real time and writing these things in real time, except for yours tonight. I wrote
Yeah,
that a few years ago, but
hmm
it still was of the same essence, and that's why it worked.
nice.
But it's like these really catastrophic-ish esque things that happen in one's life,
hmm
you know, become blips in time, and it's like they're nothing again, you
Yeah,
know, a month down the track.
hmm
Right. Think of like
Yeah.
if you were looking from above, if you were like a giant looking at all of these things, and like
hmm
when you know going through things that we're going through, and you're like, this feels like the end of the world. To anyone else, it's like it's really not. Like it's just a blip.
And
So
yeah,
true.
exactly. And
Yeah,
and so I kind of like really got hung up on that
that's
like paradigm, I suppose,
Yeah.
or and there was something else I was going to say, but anyway, yeah. Oh, but again, I guess like it's also going, you know, in the vein of like the human experience. It's like
mm,
that doesn't make it any less important.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
of course.
you know, it's like honoring that going through the motion sort of process, I suppose. And anyway, that's the idea.
Absolutely. That's so beautiful, man. That's just like I had such a great time just literally zoning straight into that and just listening to all of it. It was brilliant. The way especially that you made it work so well, especially with describing the car and just like all the little things inside that concept, which then obviously bridged into the concept for you guys to have with Blip. It's such a constructive way of thinking and it's really, really cool. I love the fact that that's the way that you approached a record like this, especially because obviously in future, going forward with this kind of thinking, it makes me really excited to see what else you could sort of come up with thinking of the same or a very similar sort of like concept, I suppose.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like in this project very, very blessed because I don't know anyone else that thinks like this. And I'm
Yeah.
like it's like genuinely really fascinating to be around all the time.
Yeah. I'm very into Kendrick.
Mm.
And he kind of has like really led. I mean, Arctic Monkeys as well. They're always very conceptual, but
Yeah.
I feel like Kendrick is kind of really setting the bar with that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like
hmm
the storytelling and the human experience and the woes and the, you know, just like it all ties into this bigger picture. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's what you got to do with a body of
Yeah.
water.
No, it's brilliant. It's incredibly
Yeah.
exciting. As I said, like I'm so happy that you've formulated this work together. I'm so happy that, you know, Sam, you now have obviously you can sing and play guitar, but now you also have another singer with you as well. So you can all create this together, which is just yeah, it's brilliant, man. And as I said before, like it makes me really excited that this is the way that you guys are thinking about your music and like putting a bunch of songs into a release because it just makes it so much more interesting than just putting out something that's just like a song and a song and a song and a song. It shows that you really thought in depth about like every little element about it. And that's what shifts you from a lot of other like bands and projects and stuff. And the thing about that is, again, I noticed it in a track list thing. Yeah, if I've noticed it, many other people will notice it as well, man. And that's like the difference, I think, which is really, really fantastic. So I really praise you for that. For that.
That's like the highest praise
That's the
we've received
nicest
so
thing
far.
ever.
Thank
Because
you, Caden.
I it's really nice. I've like literally, you know, I'm newer to this world than Sam is.
Yeah,
And like I feel like I learn a lot through you, but also I don't know, like making this body of work, and then I've heard about other people around me working on bodies of work. So then I'm asking them these questions of like, yeah, so what's the overall meaning and what's the this or that, or like things that we talk about, and people look at me like I'm an idiot. They're like, oh, I don't know, I'm just making the songs. I'm like, oh, that's like there's no judgment, that's fine. Me, I'm like, I kind of love I love it. Like I love the deep,
yeah.
like let's go everything. Yeah.
No, it's absolutely brilliant. But either
There
way,
may be a
guys.
time when I just want to. There may be a time when I don't want to do that.
And
Yeah,
then I'll be the
I'm
one
just.
like, yeah.
The transfer the
just-
essence over to you.
It has to meet all of these things.
We're just following 3 a.m. thoughts, Caden.
Hell
That's all we're doing.
The next EP could be called 3 a.m.
Yeah,
Hell
well,
yeah.
That's a cool.
I feel like Matchbox 20 kind of copped that one
Oh,
already.
Yeah,
right.
3 a.m. thoughts. We can add the thoughts on the end. I think that feels fine.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
will
yeah.
say 4 a.m. Yes, wait, we'll skip an hour. That makes it even better.
Yeah.
Either way, we've reached the end of our time, but it was such an absolute joy to speak with the both of you today. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk to me about Blip, and all of your current works. Thank you so much. Is there anything that you'd like to finally say before we finish off?
Congratulations on your own EP.
Yeah.
Thank
By
you.
the way, it's not an easy feat,
No.
and for anyone who can do it, because it's it's a journey. But we just got some shows coming up. I'm not sure when this is coming out, but we're playing over the next 3
23rd of
3
April,
weeks.
24th of April, 1st of May.
Brisbane, Gold Coast, Sunshine Coast.
Sweet.
Any listeners on those locations? And that's about it. Yeah,
Listen
check
to
it
Blip.
out.
Listen to Blip.
Yeah.
That's it. It's on everything. It's on everything.
Beautiful. All right. Thank you guys so much. It's been such a pleasure to talk to you. I wish you all the very best in the rest of your musical journey.
Likewise,
you.
man. Thank you.
See ya.